All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conservatish Ep.61. My name is Peter Feliciano, and our guest today is Ali. We're starting off this episode by her picking a nose hair live on the podcast. I don't know if you can see it. Which one is it? The left nostril or is the right one?
Right
that
here.
one? Okay.
Yeah. It's staring at me.
All right. So,
This is going to hurt.
well, I'm ready for it. Go for it.
Okay.
Should I breathe?
No.
Ah, Jesus.
Do you want to make a wish?
It's a nose hair.
Make
Sure.
a wish. There we go.
Yay. Well, everybody, there's a first for everything, and we just did that. So, now to the rest of the episode. My name is Peter Feliciano. I'm a musician and podcaster from Pacifica, and this is episode 61, and you already know that. And let's see, are we in frame? We're in pretty good frame.
Are we
Look
good?
at that. It's well done. It feels like a real studio. I like that. My Tims are in the video and
Here.
everything.
Lift up your feet.
What? Oh, look at that.
Right?
I feel I'm slipping a little too much, though.
Oh, then you can flip it back.
All right, I'm putting it back. Welcome, Ali.
Hi, thanks.
Thank you very much for being on the show again.
Anytime.
People liked your episodes a lot.
I don't believe you.
Why would I lie about that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm, it's not like I've had everybody back on the show, but my friends and the people who, are
Yeah.
popular, they're on the show a lot.
Are popular.
Yeah, you're popular.
Something
son.
I have never been.
No, that's true. At least now there's video evidence of you.
That's true.
There's video evidence of my nose hair, and
I'm really...
there was a booger on the nose hair, too.
No, it's just the root. They call it the bulb, the hair bulb.
Really?
It's what actually roots your hair into your...
So you pulled out the whole fucking thing.
Fuck yeah, that thing had to go.
It seems a little
Excessive.
excessive.
It's really satisfying. We just got a hair waxing machine for nose hairs. And
You wax nose hairs?
fuck yes.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
It
Wait,
is
for
so
girls
satisfying.
or for guys?
Both. Like anybody that's got a hairy nose.
Put the mic a little
you know?
closer to your face.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's so satisfying.
Have guys used it?
Yeah, several.
Wax
I even
your
had
nose
like
hair.
requests for it. Yeah.
How much is a wax of a nose hair?
It's free for your first time.
So
But
today,
it's satisfying. You pull it out and you see all the little white things.
is it
and
as painful as, or probably more painful?
the
right?
common verdict, I haven't had it because I do have nose rings, and one of the guys here did it who had a nose ring, and the nose ring came out. So I was like, not
Yeah, fuck
trying that.
Okay.
But the common verdict is that it hurts, but not nearly as bad as they were
Expecting.
imagining. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe we should wax yours. Your other nostril. You don't have, I mean, do you have,
Not
how
really.
manly are you? That's my question. I'm wondering if this echo or this
You
is
think
going
it's
to
gonna
affect the
affect?
sound. Probably a little bit. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I really like having a podcast.
I know you do. I have to admit, I have not listened lately.
That's okay.
You were making me mad there for a while. I even came home and I told Alex, I was like, I don't think I should listen to Pete's podcast for a little bit. And he's like, okay, then don't.
Which one?
I can't remember which one, but you've turned into such a woman hater.
What do you mean?
That's what I feel like. That's what I felt like. It was constantly,
Yeah, I can't
Women
tell
hating.
you're wrong. I can't say you're wrong.
and I'm not a full-blown feminist by any means, but
This feels like an organ.
I do get, don't change the subject.
I'm sitting in a strange chair. I'm a strange man in a strange chair.
You're sitting in a barber chair.
Right. Smoking a cigarette, which feels strange. Anyway,
Yeah. There's a rule that after hours, no clients, door locked, that you're allowed to smoke.
okay. Here's the question.
What's the question?
Do you remember one specifically, one episode or one rant I went on?
I can't remember the episode. And I'm probably getting the words wrong because as I've remembered it, I'm sure I've changed the language, but it was how
It's probably right.
we are not equal and there's absolutely nothing we can bring to the table that could possibly equal
Whoa. I
What a
never
man
said you
brings to
can't.
the table.
What a man brings to the... No, I don't
Like
think
I
I
said,
said
I
that
could be
exactly.
making it up at this point, but over and over again in my head, that's what it's turned into.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm slightly bummed that it's videotaped now.
Why?
Well, because I'm all like stripped. Cried a little bit today.
You want to talk about that first?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You want to keep talking about me hating women?
Yeah. What is your feelings on women? Why?
I love women.
I know you love women in the very sexual way. And there's a strong preference. Nice sweater, by the way. It looks great.
Thank you very much. You got these for me.
Yeah.
You and
That's
our
cool.
sweet boy, Alex.
Our sweet boy.
I'm lending him to you temporarily.
I appreciate it. But yeah, I want to know why you hate women so much.
Why don't It's not exactly like a hate. It's more of just a frustration. And it's not a frustration so much with women in general, although that's there. It's more frustration with the ideas that I am not allowed to idea. Like the thoughts or the words I'm not allowed to think or say.
So I should have prefaced all this with, this is going to come out terrible, and I hate myself for thinking this way, but I'm also not generally a fan of women.
Right.
Or men, for that matter.
Sure. People in general.
People in general, which is weird because I'm in the people business.
Right.
But yeah, so you probably said something that stemmed up some sort of inner resentment I've been working really hard to pad down.
Against men?
Against women.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so as far as the equality thing, I want equality for women.
Right.
But I also don't want to make believe that some things don't exist that do exist, i.e., we have different strengths. You know, what upsets me is that, or one of the things that upsets me as an example, is the big push for like Ocean's 8. Did you see Ocean's 8?
Yeah. I was a little disappointed.
Okay.
My mom and I saw it together.
Was it like going to be a rah woman thing?
No, but she's a huge movie fan and knows more about celebrities than most people. So like we were like, let's go see it. Like we loved Ocean's, whatever. And
it wasn't very good?
No, I was like, this is Ocean's 11, but plugged for women.
Right. So there was some trailer I saw for Anne Hathaway movie coming out later on in the year. Her and this big broad are
Oh my God, I hate you so much.
Her and this voluptuous woman are con artists, and there's a line in the trailer.
Oh, I saw this. It's with not Amy, not Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson. There you go.
It looks funny.
Maybe it is. But in the trailer, Anne Hathaway asks Rebel Wilson, why are women so much better at the con game than men? And Rebel makes some joke. And then Anne Hathaway says, to correct her, she says, because no man would ever think that a woman could be smarter than him. And that's not why. If that was the case, that's not why. It's because you have a vagina.
Okay.
That's why we are willing to sell our souls
It is.
for a woman con.
It's a pussy power thing.
It's a pussy power
I think we talked
thing.
about this the last time, too. It got brought up.
But the idea that the way to fight against inequality is to act like you're us, that's what bothers me. Look at all these tough women in superhero movies doing the same shit that dudes do. Mm-hmm. Like you can't be strong in your own way. Like own your pussy power, as an example. Like no, we have to act like men, and that's the way females get their power, and that's not the way females get their power.
I do that a lot.
That's not the way you guys get your power, and the fact that we're not allowed to point out how insane that is makes me angry.
I mean, I see the level of insanity of it. However, I do that personally because I feel like that gives you being generalized men, that there's no excuse. if I act more like a man and get ahead, that gives you no excuse to accuse me of utilizing pussy power.
I see.
And
Okay.
for example, I just had this conversation today.
Is it conscious, you feel? Like, I mean, because we all have. I have my own versions of insane, stupid shit that I do that's subconscious as well as conscious, you know?
Yeah, like just today, I was talking about the whole like women in barbering thing, and the topic came up of an all-woman barbershop. And sure, I see that, and I've seen it done really well, but the fact is the joke came afterwards. It's like went in, was really great experience, but left with a shitty haircut.
A dude said that, or you said that?
Yeah, a dude said that.
Okay.
And I mean, he was perfectly nice about it, and that's because I feel like they were utilizing pussy power. You dress in short dresses, you dress in a skimpy outfit to attract more men to come in to get more business and things like that, yet you don't respect the craft enough to at least give a decent haircut as well. So I feel like this whole time that I've been doing this, if I just dress and act like a man and deliver an awesome haircut, like I have to be twice as concentrated on giving like a fire haircut to let the woman thing not be an issue.
Right.
Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, it does.
I feel like I rambled a little
No,
bit.
it does. No, it does. I mean, I can't really say that I know like what it would feel like to be a female. You know
I
what I mean?
fucking hate it sometimes, if we're being perfectly honest. And I thought thinking about being possibly transgender at times because I've
Right.
hated being a woman so much. The fact
Right.
is I'm not.
Right.
Secretly happy with it
Right.
and all that entails.
Right. But I think there is a lot to be said for the inequality piece, and there's also a lot to be said for being grateful for the fact that you are a woman. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of amazing shit that you guys get that we don't. I.e., I mean, the threat of violence is obviously much greater for you guys. But also, pussy power is the strongest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it is the strongest thing.
It's
in
always
the
a plan
world.
B.
It's not just a plan B, it's a plan A. You know what I mean? Like, it's an automatic. It happens whether it's conscious or not. Like as an example, you know, I was talking with somebody recently and she's 27 and she was like, what do you mean? Like, cause I was trying to tell her, like, even for pretty guys it's different a little bit. But even then, there's such a numbers game as far as getting laid alone. It's such a numbers game, like constantly, you know, let's take Tinder as a perfect example. Swipe. I've
seen that
maybe
so often.
Maybe get one or two, and then you talk to them, but you have to come with the right game, and you have to be interesting and humorous and safe and witty and, you know, all this stuff, right? And a girl, like, as soon as she swipes right, like, that guy, you're guaranteed to get a match, like, anytime you'd like, right? Now, you put that and the threat of violence, you know, hey, I'm not saying it's equal, but I'm saying don't act like, I mean, you as an example, to personalize it, can go out on the street right now and find any dick you'd like at any time, right? Now, is it the right kind of dick? Probably not. You know what I mean? Is it a dick that's going to guarantee a cum? Probably not. Is it gonna? But you can scratch that itch at any point you'd like. You can flirt and get things. Like we don't have that power. You guys have that power. You guys know when we're getting laid. You know what I mean? So there is an incredible power that females have. Now, I'm not saying that's the only power, because you're also very smart and very emotionally mature and amazing at being nurturing and like all kinds of shit. But rather, as far as the feminism game right now, rather than truthfully look at the power that you do have and play on that and not sanctify, but like put that up and nurture that and promote that, it's like, no, we're gonna act like dudes, and that's the way we get power. A bunch of Kill Bills running around, as an example. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of superhero girls with thin fucking arms.
See, that bummed me out too when I saw Wonder Woman. What I wanted to see was like a CrossFit chick or somebody that looked like...
Right. And yet Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, muscle, 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 because that's what, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that's a whole nother realm because it's superhero realm. It doesn't actually exist. But I'm saying that's as an example of, like, we're going to act like we're just as powerful as men. Like, your arms are that size. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. Like, not as far as the physicality game. You know what I mean? Like,
see, I'm running that into, I started working at the gym that I go to part-time, which is also another huge reason why I'm moving to a shop closer to home. But it's a powerlifting gym. And the fact is I don't look like a power lifter.
right.
And I asked my boss this morning, I was like, why the hell would you have, like, why would you give me this job? You know, and granted, I believe it was a desperate move and I'm capitalizing on it because it's something that I want to do and I'm
Absolutely.
really interested in.
Yeah.
So I said yes and doing whatever I can to sort of make up for that. But, you know, the other night during the hours that I was there, I tried to give advice to a guy twice my size because he wasn't doing something right and he pretended like he didn't hear me.
Okay.
Oh,
So.
I know that face. That's what I was thinking too. And everybody saw it and I was fucking humiliated and pissed and it totally affected the rest of the time that I was there.
Right.
But I get it. I've seen me. If I was your size, would I want to listen to somebody like me? Even if I'm right?
Right.
I was fucking right.
Okay. You probably
and
were.
he listened when a man told
was
him.
Was he being a dick? Probably. Was he doing something wrong? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of that in a different context. Like,
Yeah.
if a guy was working, a straight guy was working at what's the apothecary? No, what's the one with the beauty, a beauty store that you go to that's like a high end one?
Mm-hmm.
Anthropology. Isn't that a beauty store?
It's a clothing store.
Oh, okay.
Aveda.
Anyway,
Aveda.
There you go.
Beauty store.
If a straight guy's working there, would you take advice from him?
See, off cuff, I want to say no. But I'm a reasonable person. You come
Right.
at me with solid information. Why are you looking at me like that?
What?
you are making faces.
I can't help but make a face that looks like me.
It's true. You cannot help that.
I think this goes maybe to this book I'm listening to called The Gift of Fear. Have you ever heard of it?
No. Interesting.
It's really interesting.
Yeah?
It's really
The Gift of
interesting.
Fear.
The Gift of Fear. It's talking about intuition and how to protect yourself from danger. And it's Gavin DeBecker, I think. It's a really interesting book. This guy has worked with CIA and the FBI, and he's, been security,
Is it how to like manipulate other people's intuition?
No. How to protect yourself and listen to your intuition when it comes to danger. You know what I mean? He tells a story in the beginning about this lady struggling with her groceries up the stairs to her apartment in the middle of the night. And this guy, like, oh, here, let me help you with that. And, like, her intuition was like, no, don't trust this motherfucker. But he was, like, really, he went through all these signals to try to immediately, like, do the punk test in a way. You know what the punk test is?
No.
The punk test is kind of a street thing where, like, if I'm playing basketball with you and I step on your toes and you don't say anything, and then I kind of check you a little bit and you don't say anything. By the time I pull a gun out to take your money,
you're not going to do anything.
Fuck you, bitch. Like, I know you're not going to do anything.
Right.
Because I've done the punk test.
That
I've
makes
taken
sense.
the power already, And so he talks about in this book about listening to your intuition and how to protect yourself, how to see danger for what it is and listen to your intuition. The fact
Are you
that
doing this because you're moving to New York?
No, I'm just doing that because Jim Norton recommended it.
Oh, okay.
And I got done. I listened to Colin Quinn's coloring book like 3 fucking times, and listened to Bonnie McFarlane's memoir, which is hilarious. See, I think girls are funny. And she's the best. She's the fucking best.
Do you know when you kept talking about Patrice?
Yeah.
You reference Patrice all the time?
Yes.
Patrice is a man.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
Well,
And then I saw the video and I was like, wait.
yeah. He's the best him, Bill Hicks, George Carlin. I mean, I want to say Pryor, but he doesn't really speak to me very much.
I don't know any of these people.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Those are my 3 favorite comedians.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to started listening to. But like, as far as why that fits into this conversation, because like when you listen to your intuition, and your intuition immediately says, "I don't want to listen to this motherfucker tell me about fucking MAC Cosmetics." That's probably because you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Nor should you. Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't work where you work. I refer to that as
smelling. Like, I can smell it that you're full of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And even though he may be right, you know from your experience that you wouldn't trust someone who
fair.
Doesn't use makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though that may not be right, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I've been trying to, because we were talking about the decision I'm making.
Yeah.
Which we won't talk about on the podcast.
No.
But I was talking about that decision, and I was sitting in the midst of my brain telling me, make this decision, do it. And I was just like, no, and just judging myself, and no, another time, it's not right yet, and let me do a pro and cons list when I kind of already know. You know what I mean? I kind of already know.
Thank God I almost canceled because I was so in my head and feeling so shitty, and I was like, whatever. But then the second you walked in, I was like, another human.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank God.
I feel that way all the fucking time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't hate women. I go on rants, and there are some, I guarantee there is definitely some resentment peppered in. I'm not going to say like, oh, I just care so much about females that I want them to have like,
well, thanks for not hiding behind that.
No, there's definitely some fucking resentment. But it also is more of a frustration that I'm not allowed to think things that I like, that my gut tells me. Like, no, like I'm not intimidated physically, you know what I mean? But your intimidation doesn't come from physicality. Your strength, quote unquote, wouldn't come from straight up physical strength, but it comes from other places.
Yeah.
That's not discounting your power as a female, but I'm saying like, why can't we just be real? Oh, it's because a man would never believe that a woman could be small. No, it's because you have a vagina. That's why. That's why you're good at conning us. Because we're like, oh fuck, might fuck me. That's why. It's not like you're less than us. That's a stupid. But
there are a lot of people that believe that.
What, the women aren't as smart as men?
That women are less than.
Sure. Okay. But there are people who believe black people are inferior. There are people who believe all kinds of nonsense. But as far as like the con itself, you know what I mean? Like, to throw that into the mosaic, the reason why they put that in that movie, that line in that movie, is because they're like, fuck men. Feminism's the shit. Okay, so you want pussy power? You want to get laid anytime you fucking want. And you want to be smarter than us? And you want all the fucking chips, bitch? Fuck you. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna toe the line because you are threatening me with like getting in trouble on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to toe the line.
Did you say something on Twitter that you're going to get in trouble for?
No, I mean, we might talk about it, but
there is.
But that's the threat. That's the threat, is call out this guy, clap, 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 with the clap emoji in between the words. You are not allowed to talk about this. Like, that's the clap, that's the threat, is that we're gonna use our pussy vagina power to like threaten you or intimidate you into not talking. If I say the wrong thing, or if I think the wrong thing, or if I just say what we're all fucking thinking.
You've got to look at, we may all be thinking it, but you've got to look at the background of fucking human history.
What?
That's what men have been doing to women since the beginning of time.
Okay, so then even Steven?
Why not? Fuck it.
Many
Steven.
why nots. No, even Stevens doesn't work. We're not 5 years old. When two brothers, when one of them gets something and the other one goes, no, it's not fair. You can't go, oh, okay, well then give it to them next time and not give it to the other. You don't punish one. Like, two wrongs don't make a right.
No, but that's the point that we've been pushed to.
No, it's not the point you've been pushed to. It's the point.
Seems like it.
It's that we should have been better to you, but that doesn't mean now you get to make believe things exist that don't. You know what I mean? Because here's the end game of that, in my opinion. The end game of that is a bunch of bitch boys walking around, which makes it less safe for you and makes you unhappy. That's the end game of, oh, women are just the best, best, best. You're not turned on by a guy who's just like, oh, whatever you say. Oh.
Here's the thing. I don't think women want to say, like, we're the best, best, best. I just think people are being tired of pushed around. Okay. And that's what it's come to. Like, calls for dramatic action and words and people being called out and things like that.
But people are calling for that, as an example of the thing I said in the trailer.
I can't blame them.
Okay. So you think it's legit? Do you think it's real that the reason why women would be good at conning is because no man would ever believe?
Are we still referring to the movie?
Yes, I am, because that's an example of the greater problem. That's it's an example of the. I mean, that's why you asked me why do I go on rants about females? Because it sounds like I hate them. It's more an anger with us not paying attention to our guts. It's more an anger of non-free speech. It's more an anger of us all making believe that something is real that isn't.
I think I just disagree with you.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
All right.
And I can't think of an intellectual way to put it, so I'm taken seriously. And I think that's what's making me so mad.
That's what the discussion is for.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to say that there isn't any resentment at women? No, there is.
Yeah.
But also part of that comes from my personal experience as well, which is...
See, that's what makes it so hard for me. All, like, with everything we get taught and things like that, all I have to refer to it is from my personal experience.
Right.
And then when I share personal experience, it gets twisted into it's just resentment or it's just this or it's just that. And I'm not educated enough on general facts and actual things that have happened. Right. I'm just not. Like, I started going back to college. I'm sick of feeling stupid all of the time. I am. I was thinking about it, and I decided to go back to college.
You could always just start your own podcast, and then you wouldn't need to worry about being stupid. People listen to this, even though I'm stupid as shit. So
I don't know. I spent the last 8 years of my life, and I love what I do, but the last 8 years has been shop talk,
right? And
I feel like that does not make me feel any more smart.
Does it fulfill you?
It used to, and on some day, I've been thinking entirely too much about this for the past couple weeks. It used to, and there's days and times and little spurts during the day where it does still. And somebody asked me the question, like, if you could do anything tomorrow and quit what you do now, what would you do? And the fact is I wouldn't give up what I do right away, because I'm not ready to not do this.
If money wasn't a factor, would you do this?
Yeah, but not as a sole vocation.
Okay.
I don't know. I started doing this because I had no other options, really. At least in my head, I had no other options.
Right.
And now I'm torn. I don't know how we got here. How do we get to this subject?
I don't know. But a certain somebody is calling me.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I should.
See who it is.
Don't answer. Don't say the word out.
I won't. I promise.
Yeah, but
somebody is calling you.
Somebody is calling.
Dun dun dun.
I won't do it over the phone.
Okay. Good man. Good man.
I don't know though. I don't know if I should not do it over the phone. Anyway,
it's entirely up to you.
Well, so what other things bother you about the things? Like, do you remember any specific instance? Because that specific one where it sounds like I was saying that women are not equal, I don't think that. I just think we have different jobs. That's all. As far as from nature's standpoint.
I agree with that, and and I probably am going to get shit for saying that, but I believe there's two roles to play, and they're two equal roles that need to be played.
That's what I was saying.
And I don't think they're interchangeable. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, you come off very harsh sometimes.
But I love you.
Just a splash of inappropriateness. I love you too, and I was so happy when you walked through the door, and I got to have a break from my own mind for a second.
Right.
And Grey's Anatomy, because
you were watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
How are you not going to cry with Grey's Anatomy?
It wasn't doing the trick, and then all of a sudden.
Grey's Anatomy. Do you not care about Dr. McDreamy or whoever the fuck?
Anyways,
what kind of a fan are you?
Not a good one. No, I do. I feel like men and women play not an equal role, but there's two different roles that need to be filled. And romantically too.
Right.
Like, I think that's something that not a lot of people, it's not attractive to talk about. Like coming back, in my opinion.
But it's what we're all not just feeling or wanting to say consciously. It's what we're all feeling in our bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had this conversation with a guy at the gym. And it was like, that's the thing. Like, and at least from personal experience, because I don't want to like generalize everybody, whatever. Fuck that. Women, I want like a man's man,
right.
You know, for lack of a better metaphor, somebody to open the jar when I can't open the jar.
Right.
You know, somebody bigger than me that can like hold me and can not control, but like somebody to control the situation when I don't want to.
Make you feel safe.
Yeah. You know?
When that's what I mean about girls with arms being superheroes.
I mean, and I think that's why I'm drawn to powerlifting so much. Could be.
Maybe.
Also, thank God I have a manly man.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So I think that's what I'm saying is like, why can't we be honest about the fact that we have from nature, whether you call it God or nature or evolution or whatever the hell, for some reason, on the whole, not all the time, but on the whole, we have different jobs. And why are females and really society at large making believe that you guys have our job? Yeah, we sometimes for a long time we didn't do, like, there's extremes to that, right?
Yeah, and the extremes are what everybody's focused on all the time.
Right.
But on a day-to-day, there's two different roles that need to be filled.
Right. Jake and I were talking about it on the last.
I've been debating on whether or not to listen to that after I read the caption on what it was about. And I love
that
Jake.
Caption pissed some motherfuckers off.
Anything will piss anybody off. It just will. And I love Jake too.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy the episodes. The one before that, I think that was the one that I had to stop listening to.
What, Jake?
Yeah, you and Jake. I think it was you and Jake number 2.
Oh yeah, we were, yeah. But that's the thing with Jake.
But I
like,
talked to Jake too because I cut
right.
Jake's hair. So
oh, really?
So we get to talk. You know.
Do you need a blowtorch? Like, do you need like a how do you cut? Do you strap him down like fucking like Hannibal Lecter?
He's a very good client. That would be attractive though. Do you want me? I'll have you over the next time I cut his hair, and you can strap him down. And
I hate that boy. But anyway, Jake. The reason
such a hard on for Jake.
The reason why Jake and I have those types of episodes is because we have that type of energy.
Are you checking
you
yourself
and I.
out?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'll finish a cigarette and then we'll go out. You and I have a very different conversation than Jake and I have, and that's natural. Code switching is a real thing, and it makes sense.
What is code switching?
Where, as an example, you and I have our connection and our talk and our energy between the two of us. It would be different than me and if I had a grandpa on. You know what I mean? It would be just as fun an episode. It would be just as honest a conversation, but I wouldn't nearly say nigger as often. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And it feels natural to not say the N-word. It feels natural to say the N-word with Jake. It feels natural to go off and say race jokes. It feels natural to try and make each other laugh and make each other shocked and talk about weird stuff and go from a talk about E40 to the next second to talk about Hitler and good and evil and the thoughts behind that.
I learned a lot about Hitler from Jake, actually. I did. He probably hates that I bring it up so often. But I literally cut his hair one day, and then we sat for like 3 hours afterwards talking about world history. But I was like really fascinated. He knew so much, and I knew so little.
But that's what I'm saying is that he's a very specific boy. You know what I mean? Like, I love him. I can't, but like, he's a very specific boy. So of course, of course, sometimes it's going to be a little much. You know what I mean? But like, not every episode is for everybody.
That's true.
What I mean? But, so when I code switch, it's like, that's why Jake is those episodes are kind of off the rails. That's why the episodes with my brother are off the rails, because we know each other really well. The goal is to make each other laugh and say nasty, fucked up sexual things, and to say off the wall, fucked up, race jokes or whatever the fuck, is just to make each other entertained. You know what I mean? And then, but to record it, to have the same conversation Jake and I would have in my Honda, but record it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which I feel like you and I would be having this conversation probably. You know what I mean? But it just, what upsets me more than anything is, I guess, that's probably why I'm pretty rebellious in a lot of ways. It's because I enjoy it. Anytime there's a large swath of people believing or doing one thing, I immediately take the opposite tack, which is not necessarily good.
Isn't that pinch of salt? Isn't that pinch of salt thing you were talking about?
What? Yeah, taking ourselves with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the pinch of salt in some ways.
I think you take it as a responsibility.
You're goddamn fucking right. Abso-goddamn-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because not only can I do it well, but I feel solid in my balls now at episode 60-fucking-2.
Talk about your balls a lot.
I'm sorry. But I feel solid enough in my gut that I know what that I feel like even when someone does come at me with like, well, what about, I can go, yeah, you're probably right. You know what I mean? Or I can take myself with a grain of salt, and I'm funny, and I'm talented enough to handle it. You know what I mean? Like, I know I can do that. You know what I mean? But I do kind of feel like I have a responsibility to it. You know what I mean? Because it makes me happy. My favorite musicians and comedians, you know what I mean, are like South Park as an example. They spray it everywhere. Nobody's safe from the gun, from the humor gun. Frank Zappa, nobody's safe from the gun. You know what I mean? Everybody has to laugh. Everybody gets laughed at. Everybody gets talked about. There's no safe place, and that's the type of person I want to be. Does it rub people wrong sometimes? Absolutely.
Did you see that meme where it said, how did a generation raised on South Park and Family Guy suddenly become offended by so much? Which is a valid point.
It's a valid point. But I mean, like, yeah, am I going to say that no resentment ever sneaks in there? No, of course it does. But at the same time, it's more about being rebellious about the ideas that people want to shut down free speech. The fact, as an example, when it comes to feminism, that as far as certain versions of feminism go so far as to like, no, we're just as powerful as you in all aspects. It's like, or we're more powerful than you. It's like, you don't even choose your partners that way. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna say like that you want a guy. Oh, consent is so important. Okay, to the point of what? To the point of, may I kiss you? Nobody wants a guy who says, may I pretty please kiss you? What do you want to do? Like, every female I talk to is like, no, I want the guy to like come up with something or like make a move.
Right.
Like, be a man. You know what I mean? But but I'm saying, as far as the conversation on social media, the conversation at the social level, there's this idea that, consent is, consent is sexy.
Well, because I feel like a lot of times consent needs to be broken down to that dumb of a level for you guys to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of us.
Because there's been like, oh, but I thought you were putting off signals, or I felt a vibe. And I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. Like, there needs to be at least that dumbed down level of consent because it's been violated so often and so frequently.
Okay.
That maybe if it's dumbed down like that, sure, internally, like, that's not generally what women want. Like, we want a man that'll take control and things like that and make the first move. And why do I always have to make the first move?
But you also want control.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is
right,
the whole consent thing. You are half of the game, but the consent thing.
So, like, as an example, what I mean by control is some females would be, like, if I make a move and some of them work and I do the exact same thing for a completely different female, and it's like, how dare you, right?
Simple, I'm sorry. I thought that was okay.
Right.
And then have a conversation about how it's not.
Okay, but at the same time, there's a weird intention that gets imbued from that. There's a weird intention that I don't like.
What does imbued mean?
Imbued means like it gets attributed to that move. There's a weird intention that gets to it.
It
like,
fucks up your game from there on out?
A little bit, yeah. But there's a weird intention, meaning the girl like attaches this bad intention to it. Whereas it's like, wait a second. Like, as an example, a few days ago, yesterday, I texted this girl, why aren't we making out right now? Right? And she was like, really? That works for you? It's like, well, yeah. Like it has before.
I don't find that offensive.
She hasn't texted back. I was like, and I said, well, yeah, but sometimes anyway. I tried to laugh at myself a little bit. And she hasn't texted back. But that's an example of like, how dare you? It's like, If I was Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
yeah. But the same horniness animal is inside of me as in Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? Unwanted advance. We have no idea what advances are wanted or unwanted until after the advance is made. Now, a mature man would take a no and take a fucking no.
Yeah.
Even
There's
if
a shortage of those.
Well,
And
yeah.
I think that's where the problem is stemming from.
I don't think it's. I know. Personal experience may say the opposite. I don't think it's as bad as society is making it out to be currently. I could be wrong. From your personal experience, I'm sure that I'm wrong, right? Like if we had to put it in percentages for you.
Okay. Percentages, divide up the percentages.
Of guys who have made a move over the many years.
Okay.
How many of them have been the type to not take a no?
I want to give an accurate number. So not take a no and then be extremely bitter and spiteful afterwards and really inappropriate, or not take a no and persist anyways?
Let's take first persist.
Probably like 20% of them.
20% of the men who have hit on you.
It has taken at least 3 and then 1 extra super bitter cunty no to get it to stop
20%
completely. Yeah.
of all the men that have hit over you over the years.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Tack on another 5% for those that have just exploded afterwards with insults and comments and you're fucking ugly anyways, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I hate that shit. Here, let's stop this and go get some cigarettes. Okay. You down to take a little break?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a little break.
I don't need to do anything.
Oh, man. Oh, well, we're already past the... Oh, we might as well.
That's true. I'm going to leave that door.
Another cigarette ought to do the trick. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of Conservatish. All my cigarettes are over there. Get out of my way. Yay. Woo! I am a man. I'm very tired. Did you charge your Juul?
I charged my Juul. You know, I tried to start smoking again after I quit.
Okay. What happened?
I quit for like 6 months.
Did Alex threaten you?
No. It was just time. And I got really freaked out about the whole cancer thing.
Yeah.
Which I have been for years, but it finally clicked. Which is good because I found out I have the early stages of gum disease.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, dude.
That's not good.
Turns out it's common.
You're like 17 years old. How does that fucking happen?
16. It's common. But it happens because I smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds a day for over 10 years.
Well, so did I. No dentist has told me so far.
I fucking hate the
Although
dentist.
they have done a lot of cavity work on me recently.
Same. Oh my God, they did like $2,000 worth of work. But yeah, no, I had quit for...
These ones right here fucking hurt so fucking bad.
Your fronts have cavities too?
Yeah, they had to do like right here. They injected me like 3 or 4 fucking times with it. Here, speaking to the... Okay.
Is that better? Sorry.
Yeah, not... Yeah. But
Too aggressive?
it is fucking
it's
painful.
So painful. But yeah, and no, I quit for 6 months, and then I finally got the excuse I needed. And
little self-pity or fear or which? Or both?
Terrible medical news. Not personally.
With the gum disease?
No, we found out.
If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
I don't want to say it on the podcast because it'll be.
Well then.
But found out some very serious medical news about somebody very, very close to me. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's what I need. And I bought a pack, and it was about a week of trying really, really hard to smoke again on a regular basis. And it was giving me migraines, and all of a sudden I really couldn't stand the smell on me. Like, smell was fine, but then afterwards I started actually smelling myself, and I don't know why. None of this bothered me before. And then I was like, I just couldn't, I couldn't do it. And so it's been the Juul ever since. which I know how douchey it is. And
well, how
I
much
know
is it? Are you sure it's less cancer? Because it's certainly not no cancer.
it's certainly not no cancer, but it's more kisses.
Ah, yes.
It is more kisses. That was the thing when I quit and then I realized how many more kisses I got. I was like, oh, you really
Don't like the smell.
Yeah. He's like, no, it was terrible. And I was like, I'd rather have this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
What a girl.
here
I'm
I
just kidding.
am. I know. I hate showing my girl.
Okay, so let's get back to this. It's been a dark episode so far, but fuck it, we'll do it. I don't know. It's not been that dark. It's just definitely more.
I feel like it's
the
not
last
as dark as
episode I
last
did.
episode.
As the our last episode.
Yeah. I can't
Well-
believe I said that on a podcast. I can't
We also
fucking
mentioned the
believe
scissor
that.
story again last time.
Oh my god!
I
Don't
won't.
bring that
I won't.
up.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That was part of the darkness.
Okay.
For those of you who are interested,
No.
go to episode 11. I think was Ali, the last time.
Was that episode 11?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Damn, and 61. You're having fun. How is it
am,
going? Is it getting better?
Yeah, it's getting better. There's more views and listens and stuff in weird places like Iraq. For some reason, I have 2 streams in Iraq, which is strange. Only 1 in Iowa so far, though. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Iowa.
Pump it up, Iowa people.
But it's also like it's disconcerting in some ways because I knew what I was doing. Like I knew that I was leaving myself open to like ridicule or concern or whatever, but I didn't
Hoping
realize.
for praise, but open to ridicule.
Yeah. Well, also I know that I push buttons. You know what I mean? And
You purposely push buttons.
I know
It's
and it's
amazing.
very fun. But at the same time, it also is difficult for someone who's as self-centered as I am. It's hard to push buttons and not expect people to like me all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's for someone who's spent my whole life living and dying by what others think. It's a hard muscle to stretch to like, okay, this person is really mad at me. I was on the phone with somebody. I won't necessarily mention names yet, but maybe soon. Who
I like the
was
bleeping out, so you could do that.
Yeah.
I love when I hear the bleeps. I'm like, damn it.
There was someone who reached out to me who I have done music with, who was really mad about. So check out this story. So they were really mad about the Jake. So to promote the Jake episode, I shared this meme. Did you see the Chinese meme that I shared a few days ago? The kind of racist. Let's find out. So I shared this racist Asian meme. I didn't think very hard about it. I probably should have done better with that. But go ahead and read it aloud for the class.
To get the image in your mind, it's when your girlfriend invites you to eat her pussy, but then she starts stripping her clothes off instead of cooking her cat. Cries in Ching Chong.
It's an Asian boy crying in Ching Chong. Now,
Are there comments?
Yeah, sure.
Should I read the comments?
No, because you'll see who it is.
And hashtagging Hitler now? What the fuck, man? You're dropping the N-word and hashtagging Hitler now? If you're looking for the fucking line, it's way back there.
Now,
Did you hashtag
person-
Hitler?
yeah.
You hashtag
Did I
Hitler.
say support Hitler? Did I say hashtag support Hitler?
You also,
no, I said
Wait,
hashtag Hitler.
Wait, I want to read the hashtags after.
Go ahead.
Hashtag Hitler. Hashtag Lisa Loeb.
It's a very interesting episode. We talk about Lisa Loeb.
I know, but
I
it's
sing
Hitler
Lisa
and
Loeb.
then Lisa Loeb and then Brad Pitt.
Yeah, what
And
other
then
fucking
racist-
podcast does that? You fucking cocksuckers. Patreon.com/conservatish.
There's also hashtag Denny's and hashtag beauty standards, which I feel like none of those should be synonymous.
So those are, I mean, when it comes to like the topics that we discuss, you know. Anyway, so I shared that meme to promote the episode because someone shared it to me. Now, I probably could have done better than share that one. But I was kind of distracted and I wasn't thinking very clearly, and I just posted it. Now, I'm not going to delete it because it's not so abhorrent that I should delete it. I'm not. There have been times where I deleted something. It just wasn't. It was, where I thought about it again. I'm like, I should delete that, but I'm not going to delete that one. But because of that, this person listened to the episode and then got a few comments in where Jake and I were throwing around some race jokes, and and then this person texted me, and then I called them, and we talked for like an hour. And he's a white person, and wanted to talk to me about, like, really, like, he said, I've tried to, like, hang on and, like, be understanding, but, like, you've gone past the line. No race jokes are okay. And I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, you said it yourself that you like these comedians who do race jokes. Like, where's the difference? Well, yeah, but you're, like, courting the white supremacist vote type of thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't like white supremacy. In fact, on that episode, I talk about how the KKK are pathetic and impotent. You know what I mean? Like, how there's like 7 of them, and they're like, I mean, I'm not a fucking racist. I'm a little racist, but I'm not like racist. I'm racial, right?
I was going to say, I think you're more racial than racist.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's racial, but anyway. And so we had a long conversation. He's like, well, I don't know if I want to release this song that we've got together, and, and we'll talk about it more maybe sometime soon. And I was like, okay. And then as soon as I got off the phone, I see that a guy, an Asian fan of mine on my Facebook page, sends me a message, LOL, to that meme. And I was like, I know I'm a horrible man, kind of, he's like, no, I think it's funny. And I'm like, really? Because I just got off the phone with a white guy.
Hey, can you call this guy for me and tell him that it's funny?
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying about the fucking power versus the...
Don't break the chair.
I'm sorry, but do you understand why I'm getting fucking frustrated? Why I'm passionate about this shit? Because motherfuckers are choosing to be offended. You're choosing to be offended. This Asian motherfucker who's a fan of mine he's like, no, not only did I screenshot it, I shared it with my friends. He's choosing to not be offended. So all I'm saying is, that was very heartening, but at the same time, it also was really difficult for me to, like, let go of the outcome. It's really difficult to, like, okay, this feels right to me. And then I went outside and, like, felt this, like, I know it sounds fucked up, but I felt this, like, sign from God that, like, I'm on the right track.
Aw.
But at the same time, it's really difficult because it's like I really want people to like me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
That's real. The pain of being subjected to other people's thoughts.
Right. But I mean, I know not episode's going to be for everybody. You know what I mean?
We have
I know
such a wide variety of episodes.
I do.
Yeah.
I've had fucking every walk of life on. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have it just be one thing, but I did label it Conservatish on purpose because I didn't think the Peter Feliciano podcast, like, I did want to have a place to at least...
It's clickbait.
It is, but at the same time, it's and it's also promotion. Like, we do need to promote ourselves, and I did think that doing that would be better than the Peter Feliciano podcast. I do think that I do want to skew more towards the center or right on many things because I feel like there's not a place for that. When I look on social media, when I look on Facebook, when I look on Instagram, when I go to hip hop shows, when I go to acoustic shows, when I am out and about, I went to Berkeley yesterday, and of course there's, a bumper sticker taped on the, or a sign,
Why do you continue to go to Berkeley if you hate it
because
so much?
I did a show. Okay. But, of course there was a bumper sticker, a poster like impeach Trump now, which is fine, free speech. But, like, not any, like, you're not allowed to, like, see any opposite, like, not allowed to, like, hear that the other side is human at all. And that upsets me a lot. Something Jake and I were talking about, or someone else and I were talking about. Like, Trump may be in power, but he doesn't feel more powerful than social media. He doesn't feel more powerful than like...
I think it is Brady. He thinks he's all powerful.
Maybe, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, the social power that these companies and these movie and Hollywood has to constantly hit us over the head with guess what we believe is just you're not going to like at least see other people as human. That's part of the reason why I have conservative people on. Yeah. Am I skewing conservative? Yeah, a little bit. But am I courting the white supremacist? Like, I wish people would get it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand I'm a pain in the ass.
See, the thing
but I wish people would fucking get it.
What sucks about the social media concept is that it's almost too powerful. Yeah. And what it's done is it's highlighted the extreme side of things entirely too much to the point where people, right. It's frustrating. Right. You can't be in the middle.
Right. And so I'm trying to be in the middle, and I knew that it was going to be contentious, but I wish it wasn't. Like I wish at least some people who were friends would at least know me and give me the benefit of the doubt personality wise. I was talking with that guy and I mentioned this friend of mine who I know outside in some of the gatherings you and I go to, who's a fucking great guy. I love him. He's a fun, hilarious motherfucker. He's a gay Filipino guy, and he's a bright spot in my life. But on social media, I had to fucking unfollow him because he kept sharing all kinds of foul shit. One of them was, I scroll through my social media feed, and I say to myself, mediocre person of color, mediocre person of color, and I'm like, wow,
that's intense.
That's interesting, but I can also detach. And I know that his personality is not really like that.
You know him as a person, yeah.
Yeah, I know him as a person.
Do you want to hear something funny that's slightly off topic?
Yes.
You know our good friend from...
Yes.
So he was...
I thought I'll probably cut that out, but that's okay. Yeah.
Well, he was in town from London.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah.
He was in town from London. He was staying with us back in January, and... we were sitting at the kitchen table just talking, and he had mentioned how people warned him not to come to America because he was going to be shot, because that is what we do here, is we just shoot each other.
Right.
Which, fair enough. We have a lot of fucking shootings. Holy shit. Yeah. But he mentioned that he had never shot a gun.
Right.
So I brought him to the shooting range.
All right.
And he got to shoot a gun. That's and he loved it. He turns around and he's like,
Ali,
that's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, Ali, but that's very problematic.
See, but keep in mind...
you're helping white supremacy, really. By keeping guns alive, you're helping white supremacy.
And you know what? I fully understand that side and that opinion from people. I do. I fucking get it. But it's not going to change my opinion on guns and the fact that I believe that the right to bear arms...
How could you even understand that? What do you mean understand that side? I'm sorry.
Because there's so much bloodshed over it. There's so much bloodshed.
But why white supremacist... attached to it?
Oh, whatever.
It's similar.
Sure.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand completely what you're saying, but my belief in what I do not get much support from anybody about is that I believe in the right to bear arms, and I don't believe that guns should be banned.
Right.
The right to bear arms was originally put in place so we could protect ourselves from a potentially too powerful government.
Right. Which is what the left constantly is crying about. Oh, dictator. How do you protect yourself from a dictator? Have a fucking gun.
I'm just saying that guns were banned right before the Holocaust happened in Germany.
Right.
Nobody had anything to fight back with.
Right.
And I'm not a gun owner. I legally can't own a gun for another year. And I'm not a gun owner, but I fucking love it. And I believe I feel like there's also no necessary need for automatic weapons. But I don't think it should be difficult, let me back up on that. I don't think guns should be wiped out. Right. But I also, there are background checks and things like that put in place in order for you to buy guns, right?
Right.
Well, I have a friend that in the last 10 years has been admitted 3 times for suicidal tendencies and owns several guns legally.
Yeah, I don't think.
And he's had a quote-unquote background check.
Right.
So I don't think... people are going to do the required background checks anyways. I don't know where I was going with that. In any way, but I thought that was a funny story.
It is, and it's a complicated issue.
He loved shooting.
Right.
We shot for 3 hours.
It's fun.
Shot 200 rounds.
It's a lot of fun. For those who haven't tried it, please go to your friend. Go to a local shooting range.
Go to a gun range. By the way, you're not allowed to rent the gun.
It's like $100, right?
No, it's like $50.
$50? Okay.
You have to buy your own ammo, and I don't know how much it is to rent a gun. But you have to know how to put the mag in and take it out and put it on the safety and things like that without any instruction. Like if you say, I want to rent that gun today to go shoot right there, they say,
you have
okay.
to show them that you know
the first question, where's the safety? If you don't, there's no like, try again. It's just, that's it. You're not allowed to rent that gun.
Right.
So it's not, and you're not allowed to go to the gun range by yourself.
Right.
Or not by yourself.
Unless you're...
fuck it. I don't actually know the rule.
Just go with a chaperone, everybody.
Go with it. I'm guaranteed.
Email me at
somebody that knows how to shoot a gun.
I'll hook you up with somebody. I know a couple of people.
I got a buddy that loves to take first timers.
There's this one Mexican guy, Marco, who came on the podcast, who wears this NRA sweatshirt around like just to piss people off. This wine some promises.
I love that voice.
But you understand, like, that's why I get a little goddamn frustrated, and I don't think it's the end of the world that I get frustrated. Like, I don't think it's that bad for me to, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's America. We're allowed to think for ourselves.
Right.
And
yeah, it just, the worst parts for me is that idea that friends, you know, are like, there are a couple of people who have like unfollowed, or like, not unfollowed, but like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. Like apparently there's like musicians talking shit behind my back. Like people who I've worked with, people who I've broken bread with, been friends with.
Well, they're allowed to do that.
Yeah, but they're also incorrect.
Are you sure
I'm not saying they should be. Yeah, I do want a fruit roll. I put it in my pocket like a weirdo. Okay. Ew, they're all warm now. But like,
I saw them on the shelf today and I was like, I'm an adult. I want a fruit roll up. And you know what? I'm allowed to buy these.
You are.
Fucking purchase.
So let's go back to that weird issue we were talking about earlier.
Which one?
So you feel 20% of men.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's not good.
No.
I don't feel like.
Which is, can I just say, like, that's a.
I hope people can hear the fruit roll-ups opening right now, because this is riveting radio right now.
Ready for a little ASMR?
What the hell is that? Oh yeah, I remember. Did you talk about ASMR last time?
Yeah. I dove into a rabbit hole and I didn't know what it was, and I wanted to find out. Look
up blue waffle.
No, I've done that. What are we in fucking third grade when the internet first came out?
Kind of.
No, but here's the thing. So
Lemon party.
I struggle a lot with femininity to begin with. Mentally, this is a little raw, but here we go. I've sort of drawn this line in my head to where I'm allowed to be this amount of feminine. And
is it conscious?
yes. Especially at work. And like, it's also a personal thing. Like, attention makes me very uncomfortable if it's not the right kind of attention I'm looking for, right? Because we all want attention.
Sure.
And yes, I'm looking for attention sometimes. But physical attention is very uncomfortable. And it's something I've known in the past because we've all been teenagers before and dressed extremely slutty out in public, and I've done that as well. And it didn't end very well. And it left me feeling more uncomfortable and like mentally naked or metaphorically naked. So I make a conscious decision to be this level of feminine. And what I mean by that is I do my hair, I do a certain amount of makeup that I'm comfortable with, and I wear baggy clothes.
Right.
I feel very uncomfortable if my butt is showing. I feel very uncomfortable if anything else, like if anything is deemed attractive to somebody else.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Why are you making that face?
No, it's just interesting to me because there are women who have gone through what you've gone through and way worse who don't do that. So I'm wondering where the fork is.
I know, me too.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, and I've had I think we talked about this last time too, like, it put a strain on my relationship for a little bit, right? In a short amount of time, like, I'm really thankful that him and I have a great line of communication to where it's all talked about, and it's so relieving. Right. But it put a strain on.
A bit closer to you.
It put a strain on our relationship for like a short amount of time. Did I?
You're good.
Okay. because I was looking for physical attention from him, but based on appearance was not getting it. Like based on appearance, I was blocking him off from it too.
Okay.
But I wanted it from, because that's my deal too. Is like, if I'm with you, that's who I want my attention from.
Right.
And I'm surrounded by men 24/7.
Right. Which is funny too, by the way, that
It's funny, right?
does a
Trust me. What?
is a I mean, can you say I just picked another nose hair, by the way. Now I'm all self-conscious about it. It's funny that you would choose a profession that is so surrounded by men. Mm-hmm. Is a piece of you, obviously you're passionate about what you do, but I wonder if a piece of you is like,
I'm sure it's a daddy
show
issue
these
thing.
motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a daddy issue thing.
Right.
We've got several daddy issues.
Right.
Father died at a young age, and lost my stepfather when I was 19. So tons of daddy issues, and I'm sure there's something underlying in there that I'm just not ready to unpack yet.
Sure.
And yeah, there's definitely a deeper level of satisfaction being able to be one of the guys.
Right.
And it's something I've wanted like my entire life, is to just be one of the guys.
Right.
And it's weird because I don't want to be seen as a girl until I'm ready to be seen like a girl. And if you don't treat me like a girl after I've already been acting like one of the guys, I'm insulted.
Right.
It's a very fucked up thing.
Right. But I mean, like, I think. So when I was going off about the Brad Pitt thing, like that's kind of what I mean, is that you can't control when we're horny and when we're not. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the same animal is in Brad Pitt as in me, as in anywhere else. The same impetus anyway. The same intention to have sex, to court, whatever you want to call it.
I think that's why I resent women that are so feminine.
Why?
And openly feminine.
Why?
Because deep down I have that animal too, where I want to be that.
Right.
And I want to be comfortable doing that, but I'm not.
Right.
And instead of just being okay with the fact that I'm not and being honest about that with everybody, instead of just the few people I select to be honest with about,
right.
I'm going to punish you for that.
Right.
It's weird. And it's really unfair. And I know how it's unfair.
Right. That makes sense.
Well, fuck it. It's on here now. So.
Right. But at the same time, as far as the percentages thing, I don't like that I'm holding my microphone like this.
Like
by
a
the way.
penis?
What? I've never held a penis like that.
You've never held a penis?
I always grip like that and jerk directly into my face. I have not sucked a dick, but the night is young.
So not sucked a dick tonight.
Tonight. But the night is young and so is he. But there's a like, as far as the dudes, like the way to fix that is for us to fix it, but not to go so extreme that
Wait for it.
like there was this in some colleges, they have these consent classes.
That really?
Yeah, and one of the
Consent classes.
one student recently, or like within the last year, got in trouble because he was like, "This is insulting." You know what I mean? I'm not going to be treated like.
Well, I mean,
you know,
that's the level of shit that women have been putting up with for years and years and years.
Right. I'm gonna.
You're
Okay.
gonna finish?
No. Before you continue to throw those reasons why, I'm gonna stop you at the reasons. Any reason is fine, except from now on. Why are you keep saying, well, like your first initial reason twice so far tonight? You're a very smart lady, but twice
Was
so
that
far
sarcastic?
tonight. No.
Okay. Insecurity.
Me too. But twice so far tonight, you've started with the reason, well, you guys do it. It's like
I'm a child.
Okay, it's not going to get us to the goal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if white people became slaves right now, well, you guys did it for a long. We're like, okay, still not a good enough reason, right? So, where are we at? 27. So like, okay, so what's the second thing? What's the second point you were going to say to that?
As far as the consent class was insulting,
Right. Or was there a second point at this point?
I don't know. The line I was going to go down is like, I just feel like in general, women have been silent for so long and been taking such a beating and such a beating and such a beating that the only way to be heard or to change anything is to go to the ultimate extreme. And I guess to have consent classes. I mean, you see it all the time. You see it how, a good example. So a woman cannot have a hysterectomy or have her tubes tied, if not medically necessary. So just by choice, a woman wants to have her tubes tied. She can't do that immediately unless she has a signature from her husband, has already had one child. And then you can have a hysterectomy by choice, and if not medically necessary. A guy only has to be 26 to have a vasectomy. That's the only requirement.
Okay. Yeah, I did not know any of these statistics. Where did you find them?
I don't know. But those are the things. I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up. There should be a fact check on these.
I know, right? I wouldn't have a podcast if there was enough. So, okay. All right. So if we see it everywhere, what's another example that probably the both of us would know?
I'm sorry. An example of...
You're saying we see it everywhere. Maybe problems with consent. Is that what you mean?
I'm sorry. I'm drawing a huge blank.
Or maybe inequality or...
Of inequality. Oh, you see it all the time about how... I mean, the big cases on the news, how rape victims get off and then women aren't believed or not taken seriously for being raped and things like that. And the second But
do we see it all the time, or
I feel like
do we also see cases where women lie about rape? Because you and I have both talked about that.
We have talked about that, and that exists.
And you and I both know
people that have
murderers,
lied.
Yeah, and probably rapists too.
Mm-hmm. And then
who are in prison.
Just based off of like personal experience again, I feel like the latter, the women lying, is not as great of a percentage or even close to the percentage that are not believed, that are telling the truth. Even though I'm not discounting the fact that women have lied.
Right.
And I know women that have. And
Right.
that's totally a thing.
Right.
That's totally a thing. But I feel possibly the latter is.
But going to the extreme of let's not even check because you have to believe all women. You know, Jussie Smollett is a good example of. He's the guy who faked the hate crime last month.
Oh my God, I heard about that. So it's the guy from Empire.
Right.
That's real that he faked it then, huh?
Yeah.
That was some big shit.
Right.
He was attacked and called racist things in guys with MAGA hats on.
Well, they said this is MAGA country, poured bleach on his face, put a noose around his neck. And it turned out to be two Nigerian motherfuckers that he paid to do that.
Stop it. So those allegations were real. It was fake. It was
faked.
set up.
And he's in jail right now, as far as I can remember.
Well, yeah, that's some serious shit.
Okay, but
see,
even to
even
question
in that case,
or say something like, let's wait until the facts come out, that was called by a bunch of people, very prominent politicians and artists and actors, that was called, saying let's wait until the facts come out, was called not believing victims.
I see the point you're trying to make. Or not trying to make, the point that you just made.
Right. I don't know what the exact percentages
again,
are. Maybe it's impossible to find
He did.
out.
He lied about a hate crime and set it all up and things like that.
Right.
But does that happen as often as actual hate crimes?
No. But at the same time, when it gets so far to the extreme, we're talking about extremes, when it gets so far to the extreme that even saying, let's wait for the facts, you're a problematic white supremacist homophobe.
Because that's what it looks like on the outside.
Right. But it shouldn't, because you're just saying wait until the facts come out. Because the other thing is, that's why we have a justice system. You know what I mean? Now, do I want all actual rapists in prison? Yes, I do. Do I want actual victims to be believed? Yes, I do. But our system currently, maybe we changed the system, maybe, I don't know. But our current system makes sense that you do have to have witnesses, evidence. The judge or the jury needs to see that there's beyond a shadow of a doubt that this person did that thing. You know what I mean? At least that this person did this thing that they're being accused of. You know, sometimes they're being accused of murder, but it was actually manslaughter. And so the person gets off from murder, right? Like, what's his face? The guy, Zimmerman, down in Florida. Do you remember that? Or was it Georgia? Zimmerman.
Zimmerman sounds familiar. Is that the cop?
Trayvon Martin was wearing a hood, walking through, blah, blah, blah. And then they got in a scuffle, right? Mm-hmm. So he was, I think, I'm pretty sure anyway, I might be talking out of my ass. He was charged for manslaughter. Or he got off. As far as they could tell from the evidence that was presented, the jury can't be like, I think he did it, so yeah, in prison for life. Like, you can't just say, I think he did it, so in prison for life. You have to kind of, so that we can protect the truth. We're trying to get to the truth. And as it's currently designed, they did what they were supposed to do, the jury. You know what I mean? Does that mean that it's okay for anybody to shoot anybody? No. Does it mean, okay, oh, good, Trayvon Martin's dead? No. But as it's currently designed, my job as a juror is to look at all the evidence and go, okay, guilty or not guilty. And as far as the evidence presented, like, it's not just we hate blacks, so all blacks are guilty. Like, that's not what the case is. You know what I mean? It's like, as far as the cases represented or the facts are represented.
What do you keep checking?
Yeah, I just want to make sure the right time. As the case is represented, what is my job as a juror? You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like we have a better system so far. We're trying to get to the truth because we know how full of shit humans are. We know how forgetful witnesses can be. We know how witnesses can sometimes make up stories after the fact, that memory is not very good. We know this from personal experience with humans. We're trying to get to the truth, but it's not going to be a perfect science. You know what I mean? And to just immediately say, well, you're a white supremacist or a homophobe because you want to say, wait, I don't know if this is, let's wait for the facts, instead of just, this guy is a victim and oh my God, like all of these politicians and actors who were like, poor Jussie Smollett had egg on their face because they immediately were like, this is Trump's fault. Right?
Well, you have to wait for all the facts to come out, but if that doesn't disturb you initially, not knowing that it was a...
But there's people who don't want to wait for the facts to come out. Right? And those people they're heroes. You know what I mean? They're fighting for women by not wanting to wait for the facts to come out. Now, sometimes it's like, all right, yeah, that motherfucker probably did it. You know, video. You know what I mean? Like, you know, genuine witnesses or like victims, plural. You know, fucking Cosby as an example. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm going there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here, let's pause this. Just let me turn off the thing real quick and then restart it.
Is it only a certain amount of time that can be?
Yeah, it goes 38 minutes and then it restarts.
Oh, that's what you keep checking.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a fucking...
Catch-22?
I guess so. But, I mean, the way to get to it is not to go so far to the extreme that we make believe that things exist that don't exist. The way to get to equality is not to, like, parade around and fool girls, like, into thinking that they shouldn't want what they want. You know what I mean? Like, there was this, I was driving by somewhere, like, there should, you know, some billboard was like, there should be more women STEM. And I was like,
more women STEM?
In the STEM field, or there should be more women
as in
doctors.
Stem cell research? Okay.
No. STEM is shit.
What?
Pete's not smart. I forgot what it is. Anyway, there should be more women in this particular field. That was the message of the billboard. And I said to myself, yeah, if they want it. You know what I mean? Like, if they wanted is an important caveat. You shouldn't just like, no, we need halvesies everywhere. Even Steven, we need to make sure even Steven. Because if even Steven was followed all the way to the end of the letter, that means that there should be only 14% of black people on media. There should be only 14% of black people in a certain job, right? Because they're only 14% of the population, right? Besides the fact that we were talking about it on Jake's last episode. I went to Oil Changers, and there was a female on the crew, and I was like,
so hot.
She was a dirty little fucking Latin bull dyke crew. She was like skinny with like a shaved half of her head too. You would have liked her. But she was working at Oil Changers, and I said, well, that's strange. In fact, I've been getting my oil changed for years, for probably like 12 years now, and I've never seen a woman on any oil change crew. You know what I mean? So a piece of me felt like, well, that's an example of women deciding that they're not really, like if they, quality in all fields. If they want it, you cocksuckers, with love I say that, but you motherfuckers have not applied to Oil Changers. You haven't. You know what I mean? Like, are there definitely signs that some, in apparently graphic design, or in coding, and like, are there times where someone applies and they don't get chosen because of sexism? Sure, okay, but like having only 20% of females in a certain field does not denote that 50% of applied.
Doesn't denote inequality.
And that 30%,
yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Because y'all are 80% of nurses. Because you fucking applied. You know what I mean?
That's another like thing where like it's a woman role. Not like women occupation or anything like that, but women are by nature nurturers.
I'm trying to get down to nature. I'm trying to talk about what we all kind of know. That's not to say that there aren't exceptions, nor that there shouldn't be exceptions. Of course there should, and of course there are. There are people who are half-sexed. You know what I mean? I had a trans comic on. I absolutely believe there are trans people, and more power to you. But should we take it to the extreme that there's no such thing as men and women? It's just a social contract? Fuck you. That's an insane thing. You know what I mean?
I believe there's... We'll see, because this is going to piss some people off. But even like... I think I heard you talk about it on an episode before, but even quote unquote gender fluid people that I see are trying to be one or the other.
Yep. Unless they're just angry at men. That's really what it is. If they're angry at men, then they want to be halvesies because they just don't want to fucking, I'm just going to be a zer, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to be I'm a wonderkin. You know what I mean? I'm not wonderkin. What's the word? I'm an animalkin. There are motherfuckers who want to be like animalkin. I identify as a fucking wolf. You know what I mean? I identify.
That's a thing?
Yes. And we're supposed to respect it? Fuck you. You're just angry at men.
I identify as a cat.
Do some right. Do some
Leave
writing.
Leave me alone most
Do some
of the
writing.
time.
You know what I mean? Like fucking it's not that difficult. I get it. I get being so angry that it changes your life. I understand. But at some point, other people can't like, oh, Pete's really angry. Let's all get out of his way on the road because he's really angry. No, other people exist. I can't change someone else's speech because it might hurt my feelings. That's self-centeredness. That's selfish. It's not heroism. So I'm trying to get down to fucking truth. And along the road,
get some pussy?
Yes. Well, and also along the road, I don't just run into these weird stories or this weird bullshit at the social media level. I also do run into it in my real life. You know what I mean? Women who are in their 30s, who are fresh out of a divorce, who are like, I don't know, I ran my husband ragged and I just stopped fucking him like 10 years ago. I wonder fucking why. You know what I mean? Like, where like now all of a sudden I come to them with some sort of like man energy, and it's either refreshing and they don't know what to do with it, or it's like I don't know what to do with it and you're being disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you send me a funny dick pic after we've been flirting for like a fucking year on and off. We've made out. I send her a funny dick pic like I was on the plane and I was like, hello from 35,000 feet. You know, like I was like with my thumb in the air, you know, just being, you know, fucking whatever. Because we've made out and we've talked and we've hung out and, you know, we've talked about fucking, but we just haven't. It's a long story. But I figured that would be funny. But like suddenly it's like, you just obviously see, I'm frustrated with how men see women. Like, you're a cocksucker. You're a fucking asshole.
I get
you're
like that too.
For
and you have
that.
to realize that sometimes somebody's just not in the mood for it.
I'm aware. It's not about being in the mood. It's fine to not be in the mood. But to paint this broad brush because men don't respect women. You're a fucking self-centered slag. It's not about that. Oh, men don't respect women. It's not that big a fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with not being in the mood. I'm fine with a no.
Well, because there's some things that I find funny in the right mood. And if I'm in the wrong mood, it's not funny.
So punish the person. Judge them. Put them in a box. In fact, put them in a box that might get them in trouble online. Put them in a box that might sink their fucking career because you're not in the mood.
I really want to hear the story of what happened.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm still figuring out. I have a lot going on. I have a lot going on. So this is your last day. This was your last day in Cut to Contrast.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Sorry, my eyes just got hot and I got all teary-eyed again. Yeah, I want to do because I know what's come to be my family working here.
How long have you worked here?
A little over a year now. It feels like much longer. But yeah, it's a huge commute for me. I've been commuting over an hour each way for over a year now. And when I first started, I was so excited to work here because working at this shop is kind of a big deal in the barbering industry, at least in the Bay Area. A lot of not big names, but insanely talented barbers have worked here and do work here currently. And it's been kind of like a huge honor to get to work here and to be the first female that worked here.
That's awesome.
I'm so sorry.
No. This is fine. You want a napkin of some kind?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
But yeah, and I found out I showed up here randomly, and this is Cut to Contrast in San Francisco. I showed up here randomly because one of my female barbering idols was doing a look and learn here, and I paid to come shadow her for the day. And the owner was here, and him and I got to talking, and he really liked that I had come out on a day off to take a class, and he had an opening, offered to give me a guest spot here, and turns out I ended up getting the job. And then I found out today, everybody was like, what the fuck? Who is this random chick that you just hired? You know, which is fair. I'm not a big name in the barbering industry, and I moved from Florida shortly before that. But I am 100% a better barber for having spent the last year here. And I said I would give it a year, but the commute and other things coming up in life, it's just... it sucks because that's the only reason why I had to stop. It's the hour each way is my life surrounds around traffic and it's exhausting. Huge shout out to Randy, who is Cakin' His Randy, who I really believe should be on here.
I would love to have him on.
You know, he believes that the earth is flat. I've tried to fight him on it.
For everybody.
I've tried to fight him on it so many times.
Well, maybe not everybody.
But
maybe not a child molester podcast. That wouldn't be any fun.
No. And yeah, today was my last day. But yeah, Randy's a huge name. He's the original YouTuber, they call him. But he's become an amazing friend. JJ, the owner, who I fucking hate and love so much, and he understands that completely. Mark and Jordan that work here, Alan and Justin, and everybody's just, I'm a better barber because of it, and I'm so fucking grateful to be able to have the chance to have worked here as long as I have. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's a sad day.
Yeah.
It's a sad day. The vibe in here, the level of quality that gets put out on a regular basis, it's not something you find all the time. And I'm scared. I'm scared to move shops. I'm scared to get used to a whole other group of people, especially when I weigh heavily on what other people think of me and things like that. And again, having to prove myself in a new place and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, today is my last day. This is a view of Cut to Contrast.
You want to hold it up and oh look,
yeah,
the American flag is up.
yeah. I fought them because they, as a joke,
We
wanted
talked
to
about it on the last.
There's an American flag hanging, and they wanted to hang it upside down, and that pissed me the fuck off.
Because you're Floridian.
Do you want to hear another funny story?
I do.
And so I started taking classes at San Jose City, and I have this history professor who's fucking awesome. The very first day, he's like, I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite word is fuck. And if that offends you, I suggest you drop the class now. And immediately I was like, you're cool. But he's big on class participation, and I've sort of gotten over the fear of being wrong, at least in his class, and just participate no matter what, because I want the good grade. And he said something like, okay, the revolution happened. They're trying to start this brand new government. What do they need? And I'm like, workers. And he's like, wow, you're a fucking commie. And like then continued with the class.
They need the underclass.
Oh my God. And then I was talking politics at the gym this morning, and I might be a commie. I don't even know. I don't know enough about
just a joke. But,
political things in order to class myself somewhere.
Right.
But I love America.
Right.
And I believe the American flag should be hung up the correct way.
Right.
That's it. I don't know.
What was probably, what do you feel is like the biggest benefit you got from working here? Was it like, if you could put it into a box, I guess?
What I've learned working here. So when I worked in Florida, I worked at an extremely high volume shop. We did minimum, like if you were going to make money, you had to do at least 25 heads a day. It was in and out. If you couldn't do a skin fade in under 20 minutes and have him cut, product, shaved, and out the door in 20 minutes, like you were in trouble with the boss for taking too long. Because like 300 people walked in and out of that shop on a busy day.
Right.
So I learned how to be very efficient and quick and things like that. And what I learned working here is that every single haircut needs to be fire, quote unquote. Every single haircut needs to be fire. And fire can't be rushed. And one thing... the most important thing is what I've realized, especially being in the Bay Area where this industry is completely oversaturated. There are so many barbershops all up and down the Bay that people can get their hair cut anywhere. Like they don't need to come see me. But if I make them laugh, if I hear about their day, if I remember something, if they do come see me again about them, if I build these individual relationships and do my best to do that on the first time, they will come back to see you. And it's that stupid quote where it's like, people won't remember what you've done, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Right.
If I make them feel fire when they leave here, they will come back to see me.
Right.
And before it was just turn and burn.
Right.
And I guess I've learned to respect the craft that we do far more by working here. But iron sharpens iron, you know, and that's what this whole year has felt like.
So what shop are you going to?
So I'm moving to the Barbers Inc., as in like the Barbers Incorporated, in San Jose. I'll be at the South San Jose location. Fucking 8 minutes from my house.
Oh, delicious.
Right. Oh, I did not do that.
After all the shit I've said on this podcast, this is...
So yeah, I am...
I mean, I could block out your face, but it's a little late now.
It's true. I also, before you got here, so the top of the stairs is my spot. because it's the warmest spot in the shop. It gets so cold in here. I'm always cold,
Right.
but the heater blows
girl.
right up there, so that's the warmest spot.
All right.
And I was having a little movie moment, so I sat up there before you got here and just fucking cried.
Right. That's nice.
I hope they can't see that on the video. But I'm going to the Barber's Inc. in South San Jose. It's one of Dave Diggs, his shop. If you're a barber, you probably know who Dave Diggs is. Pretty awesome guy. Insane story. I'll tell you about it later. And yeah, get to know some of those guys. They've been really friendly. As far as like bullshitting back and forth on Instagram, I went in there to kind of shake everybody's hand a couple weeks ago. See if it vibed well.
Do you have any clients who are able to follow you?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's actually been relieving. A couple clients from here actually work a lot in the South Bay. So they're like, oh, no problem. I'll make the time. And like,
Awesome.
That's so comforting.
That's very cute.
Like get to have a piece of home, like at the new home. And then I have a San Jose clientele, that I've been seeing anyways. So we'll just move them over to the shop. So I'm not coming totally empty-handed, but I am going to be the new guy again. I am going to be slower than I'm used to.
Are there females in that shop already?
There are 2 other females. I've met one. Scared to death of working with other females. It's been a long time.
Right.
And simply for the fact I'm afraid they're going to judge and not like me. I don't wear dresses or things like that. I don't try to use being a woman to get more clients, and I don't know if they do either. That's just a prejudgment on my end.
Right.
Fuck.
Problematic. Especially if they're POCs, if they're people of color. If you don't like them, then that means you're racist. So. No, I'm just kidding.
Any excuse to plug that.
I am a salty asshole. I really am a fucking hairy butthole. Yeah. Well, good for you. This is part of the reason why I'm going to New York is because iron sharpens iron. It's because it's like, all right, I've been serving my bones. I've been fucking, hitting my head against the wall here, and rightfully so. This should not be easy. Dreams are supposed to be difficult.
Right.
But, I've kind of gotten as far as I can get here. And so it's like, that's why I'm like, okay, do I want to do it real? Do I want to do it big? Or do I want to just keep dreaming about it?
That's how I felt in Florida.
All right. It's easier to just dream about it. And there are a lot of people who have done that. You know what I mean? There are many people, even I'm sure listening to the podcast right now, who are like, I did want to do that, but then
So you taught me this phrase. It's easier, well, at least in this context, it's easier to mentally masturbate about it than actually do it.
Right.
I love that phrase.
Yeah, it is. It's easier to like watch Netflix and eat a pizza and dream about performing on stage at the Grammys or performing on stage at, in front of like my heroes. It's easier to like,
and it's fun to dream about that.
It's fun to dream about that
because
I can almost conjure the feeling. In fact, sometimes I've done close to a dream, performing in front of hundreds of people, and then not been present for it right afterwards. You know what I mean? And just totally missed the dream anyway. You know what I mean? So it's kind of scary. It was weird. I was performing at Moonlight Cafe for Tuesday's Child on Wednesday. Shout out to Ziz and Morgan. And they have a monthly show on the third Wednesday at 7:30 at Moonlight Cafe. Comedy, variety, storyteller, music. And every once in a while I get to be the music. And it's a small show. Don't make a lot of money. But I performed there, and I was like nervous beforehand, and this was last Wednesday, and I just felt like I was like shaking for some reason. And like sometimes I feel like that's God's energy. You know what I mean? Like where like I'm literally like shaking, and I just get up there and I'm like, all right, let me be like, I was praying beforehand. I was just like, let me just be in the moment, like with these people. What do they need? What do they want? Let me give them what they want. Let me make them feel a certain way. And well, to tell you the truth, before me was a comedian who said some fucking stupid shit.
What level of stupid?
He's a white guy who likes to make jokes about white men. Oh, straight white men are the devil. And so I was just like, all right, should I just go off? Maybe I should just go off. Like maybe that's what I should do, because that feels kind of right. But I didn't. And so instead of going like, okay, fucking fire to everybody, I just decided, okay, I started playing Part of Your World, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fuck it. Let's do that one to start it. Wet everybody's whistle. And then I did the Me song, which is a song where I make fun of, it's kind of the I'm the shit song. Did you hear that one? I sing about Facebook and social media and different characters in each.
Oh, I've heard that.
And
it's funny.
The third verse. Thank you. And the third verse is where, check out my beliefs. They're the ones I'm supposed to have, and I'm always on the lookout for an offensive act. This article needed sharing, though the headline's all I read. I have no gratitude, no perspective, just please like my thread. Can't you see that I have courage? Can't you see how much I care? Every feeling the algorithm feeds me only makes me more aware. Stay woke. I'm so fucking different how I stand and I speak up, because it's so hard in the Bay to say fuck America. And that landed really fucking well. I think partially because the way it was written, which was very quickly, again, when there's inspiration, just do it. And when I wrote that, I think it's well crafted, but it also, I know how to make certain faces and act and put the anger in the right place without at one specific person, or here's this thing I disagree with that motherfucker said. I didn't do it that way. I did it everybody gets a piece. Everybody gets to feel a little guilt about themselves and laugh at someone else. Everybody gets it, and it was the right way to do it, and it was precision, and it felt really good. And I literally, one of my favorite performances I've done in a long time, and it was a small show, you know what I mean, for not very much money, you know what I mean? So, and it's really nice people, and just, it's a good crowd. Anyway.
Aww.
So, I don't know, I guess I wanted to tell that story, but it's just interesting that I get to do this, but it also is I can't keep, I don't know, I'm letting go. We were talking about it before. I'm letting go of people that I love here. You know what I mean? I'm letting go of a world that I know. I'm letting go of many certain routines that I'm used to. And I feel like I'm already becoming a different person, and I don't like it, because I feel like a train is behind me, and I'm not ready. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'm making the right decision, and I don't know if I'm am I going to go out there and fail and have to come back in 4 months? You know what I mean? Dejected with my fucking tail between my legs. Am I going to, how bad is this going to suck? Or even weirder, for some reason, I'm how awesome is this going to be? But I'm not going to be used to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have my friends to just here, watch me do this great thing. It's going to be a whole group of people who don't know who the fuck I am, and aren't and see a cavalcade of motherfuckers they don't know who they are trying to make it big in the city all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I felt like that before I moved back here.
Right.
When I was packing up the Jeep to drive here from Florida, I was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I am not ready for this. The Jeep is packed. My apartment is empty. I'm not going. For all of those reasons. And the first month and a half, 2 months I was here.
You want some peanut butter cookie?
Sure. Thank you. That's good. I've had 4 Fruit Roll-Ups. But for...
You had 4?
It's been an emotional day. But, no, and then the first 2 months I was here, I was not okay.
Right.
I would say well into even 6 months. I was not okay.
But you had lived here before. So
yeah, I had lived... completely different circumstances. The first time I moved to San Francisco, in hindsight, I was running away from home to start a big, beautiful life and was naive and eager
and high
and super high on anything and ready for it. Ready for whatever the fuck the unknown was, because I wasn't.
You weren't present for it.
No. This time I was present. I was ready. I had made a plan. I had saved money. There were more people involved than just me, at least that I was aware of. And for the first month, 2 months, I was not okay. I didn't know where the grocery store was without GPS, which I took for granted before. I was running out of money. I was uncomfortable with every job because I was looking for the same barbershop in California, and I couldn't find it. And I thought I found it, and they didn't want me, and life was over. And the same thoughts where it's like, I need to drive home now and cut my losses. So many crying phone calls to my mom, asking her if it's humiliating if I stay with her, if I come home tomorrow. Should I just ship all my boxes home right now? Crying myself to sleep on a daily basis. And it was super painful and super necessary. Like when I get emotional now, because there's those spurts, you know, those random spurts where like you're driving or something and the gratitude just takes hold.
Right.
And where I'm just like praying, like, thank you for everything, you know? No, I wouldn't trade a thing now. But in the moment, fuck that.
Right.
I don't know if I'm trying to give you advice or comfort you or anything.
No, it makes sense.
But it's so fucking scary, no matter what. No matter how much money is saved, no matter what plan is intact.
I just, you know, what's weird too about it is that I feel like I'm actualizing this romanticized dream in my head is really what it is. I'm getting ready to live like I think about the ideal. You know what I mean? Like I have these fantasies about what New York will feel like and what sitting down with Colin Quinn will feel like and what performing at huge stages will feel like. And I'm afraid it's not going to feel that same way, or
what if it's not enough when it does?
What if it's not enough when it does?
Yeah.
Or what if I get out there and it is like that, but that just means I'm detached from reality and this is the only reality? You know what I mean? Like what if I'm like chasing after this dream that doesn't actually exist? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I mean, we can mentally masturbate what ifs for a really long time and play them out fully.
Right.
But I think it's awesome that you're moving.
Yeah.
Miss you terribly when you show up with 2 bottles of ketchup to the barbecues. Those 2 bottles of ketchup are still sitting in the back of the fridge.
Why did you ask me to get it?
Because you asked Alex and not me. And that's when you get the instruction of, we need 2 bottles of ketchup. No,
I think he just said we need ketchup. I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna get the shit out of this ketchup.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. And it also is weird because it's like I have all these friends and all these family and it's just like I kind of feel like I'm leaving them behind, or I don't know. Like, I know I'm not, but at the same time, it's like I'm closing this chapter, and it's just like there are some relationships that are not going to survive.
Yeah.
You know, even if they change. You know, there are some that are not going to survive at all, and some that are going to change, and, like, we'll text each other every day at the first start, and then every couple of days, and then every couple of weeks, and then...
There were people I called on a daily basis, and not anymore now.
Right.
Life gets bigger, or at least different bigger.
But I don't want to, I mean, there are some that I know that at any point we'll talk. You know, some, like, probably 5 people, 4 or 5 people.
Or you can pick up just where you left off no matter what.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's heavy, and I wish it was happening now, but I'm not ready for it now.
It's happening in September?
Yeah. which is pretty close anyway. But
It's pretty close, but it's enough time to have at least 4 existential crises before it happens.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
4
today
major
I was
ones.
driving over here and I was just like filled with so much hope and so much like, oh my God, I could have anything. I could do anything. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. But I'm also like, I am underprepared for my dream. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to all go happening well because like, I don't know who the fuck, is this really, like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is that going to look like? What is it going to feel like? Who the fuck do I think I am?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
It's exciting.
Right.
I'll be excited for you. I'm that for a few people.
Right.
Well, it's true. I have a lot of friends that don't get excited, but they're excited, but they will not show it the way I need them to show it.
Right.
So I get excited for them.
Well, it's interesting too because our relationship has changed. You know what I mean? Like even with you and Alex and just distance and not seeing each other every Monday and Tuesday and Sunday and fucking Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and you know, our relationship has changed where it's just like, okay, you know, we have this idea of what the relationship or which, you know, what the friendship is supposed to look like. And then in actual practice, it isn't. And that's fine. You know, humans go different directions and that's all right. But it's just like, all right, well, I don't have, you know, here I have a life preserver and I don't have a life preserver over there. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I'm going to have to get serious about it or not. So, is this place really haunted?
I believe so. Why did you see something?
No, but what have you seen here?
I've heard things.
What do you mean you've heard things?
I've heard things upstairs.
Like what? Like creaks?
Like noises.
I just heard a noise right behind me.
Like one time out of nowhere.
Okay, so something fell. What else?
No, it was real. You felt it when you went upstairs the first time to go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, but that's because you cocksuckers were like, "Oh, it's haunted up there." How am I not supposed to be a little paranoid?
It is haunted up there. Ask any one of us.
Okay, but
We all have our own experience.
That's the only fucking. What else?
That you hear it like it's against the wall right there, not like from a place where it's fucking haunted.
Well, what's the story behind it? Obviously, there's got to be lore.
So it used to be a bike shop. Or no, it used to be I'm giving you the timeline.
Yes, all right, go ahead.
So before it was a barber shop, it was a hookah spot. Before it was a hookah spot, it was a huge bike shop, both this and next door.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, originally it was an antique shop. And I think that's where it stems from. That was really close.
An antique shop. Why would an antique shop be haunted?
Because...
There's a spirit connected to a vase.
Yes, I believe that.
Well, the vase is not here anymore.
I believe it's haunted.
Okay, but all you heard was
It was loud.
But that's it.
Yeah. And it's always really cold up there. But the windows are always open. You know what? It's haunted. It just
Yeah, maybe.
is.
So, how you feeling now? Ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Very different episode than the one before.
For sure. It's It's where can people find you again?
Instagram, Ali, ALI does my hair.
Ali does my hair.
Ali
you can
does
find me
my
at
hair.
Peter_Feliciano. Support this podcast and all my music bullshit on patreon.com/conservatish. And thank you very much, Ali, for having me.
Thanks, Pete.
And what's the name of your barber place again?
The Barbers Inc., South San Jose. Please.
We'll see you there. Love you. Bye.